So yet again, I've placed myself in quite a problem. I'm supposed to render this scene using only Blender, After Effects and this janky computer. And somehow all that information was supposed to render without exploding my computer into bits. By the end of this video, you guys will get to see what one man can do with free software and only 120 days of production time. So straight away, I went ahead and separated the two scenes into phase 1 and phase 2, which would take place in night and day respectively. With the storyboard done, I immediately hopped into Blender and started a new instance. The scene was supposed to take place in an old abandoned factory, so instead of building the whole thing from scratch, I just got this model from Sketchfab, which is only good for reference. With that same model, I went ahead and created new floors, windows, doors, machines, atmosphere, and a nice new dustbin at the very edge. Well, not new because it's abandoned. Even so, I still went a bit further and sprinkled in some miniature details like sticks, rubble, rocks, vines and papers. And after about 2 days of editing, I was finally done making the environment. I got to the next part of the process, which is lighting. But in order for that light to be set up, we need a subject for it to be referenced to. That's where character modeling comes in. In order for this whole video to even be possible in the first place, I had to create 2 character models to work with for the whole video. And this is where the biggest hurdle came through. I had to create Denji before transformation and after. So for the first model of Denji, I started with a low poly Asian base mesh, which I then sculpted a ton of details into. So I selected the top vertices of Denji's head and separated it by selection to create a hair afterwards. And then I made some cool eyes by using this cool plugin called Tiny Eye. But as you might have already noticed, in the anime, he's got shark-like teeth. So in order to make these teeth, I had to hop onto Sketchfab and I found a cool jaw model of a dog. So I applied this jaw model onto his gums and it turned out pretty good actually. I eventually started playing around with the vertices of the teeth so that it stops looking like a dog's mouth. For the texture, I added a principal BSDF and then I plugged in noise texture to the normals and I just played around with the values until it looked like this. After that, I went ahead and created the tongue, the eyelashes, the eyebrows, and I was done with the facial stuff. After that, I went ahead and made the skin, which consists of a ton of nodes, and I created some pores using map range, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. I added a lot of vertex painting stuff as well, and we were done with the skin. I went and gave him the shorts he always has and I started rigging. I carefully made sure to make the rig, especially the facial part, and then I parented it with automatic weight. And then I played with the weight painting as well, and after about a week of editing, I was finally done with the Denji model. Oh, thank you everyone. Goodness me. Ah, that's my brother right there. Oh fuck, is that all? No, it is not. Now that we've got the character ready, and considering this is phase 1, I angled the sun at -15 degrees. Then I added a bunch of spotlights and point lights all over the place, and phase 1 looked good. Then after doing all of that, I still had the hardest part to make of the video, which was zombies. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of zombies. These zombies in the storyline would be the ones that kill Denji and throw him in a dustbin. Now, considering how much of a huge horde it was going to be, there's no way I was going to make the zombies all by myself. I mean, come on. And guess who came in clutch? My boy Sketchfab. Nah, come on. And so I just made them myself. I did not drag and drop any of these models that were already rigged, nor did I duplicate and decimate these models, because that's not what good artists do. After getting the zombies, I had to animate them one by one by one by one by one until I was tired and done. I had to do that, bro. If I didn't do that, then there wouldn't be no film. But there was a trade-off. I wasn't gonna animate anything that's not in the camera. So everything that was off the camera kind of just looked like this. Based off of the storyline, the zombie devil gave a command to the zombies to chase after Denji, and Denji was supposed to run away from the zombies until he found an exit, which he didn't. So that means I had to animate Denji running away from the zombies, and this was another difficult area. That's when I decided we're going outside. So I tried recreating the movements I thought Denji would have done, and then I imported those video files into Blender as a video sequence. And then I tried following the movement of the video sequence using Denji's rigged body. It took a couple of hours, but I was done with that specific piece. It took a couple of hours, but I was done with that specific piece of animation. After months of torturing myself with animation, I finally locked it in and got on to the next bit, which was rendering. Now for this bit, I'd export everything camera by camera. This would prove efficient because it makes everything much more organized and good looking for the compositing bit, which we'll tackle later on. So for phase 2 to begin, I started a new Blender project file and then I re-imported the assets from phase 1. So you guys remember the dustbin we created in phase 1? It came in handy because I just used the same dustbin to place Denji inside. And phase 2 required daylight, so I changed the angle of the sun from negative 15 degrees to 21 degrees so that everything can be visible in the factory. And then I deleted the fog. Then I made this cool eye trail effect by using simulation nodes and geometry nodes. It turned out pretty good actually. I just genuinely enjoyed doing that. Then it was time for another reference animation, so I went ahead and took the camera, recorded myself speaking just like I am now. Got the camera up close just like this. I moved that same video sequence in Blender again and copied the same movements of my face, cheek by cheek, eye by eye, blink by blink, and it turned out pretty good actually. Also, I do want to thank you guys for the support you've shown to the channel so far. If you want to support me even further, please do consider subscribing to the channel and check out my Patreon and my PayHip. Links will be down in the description below. And yeah, let's get back to the video. After animating the horde piling on him again, I had to make the next character model, which was Chainsaw Man. So for this character to work, he needed chainsaws pierced through his forearms and a mechanical chainsaw head, which would be attached to his original Denji body. Then I of course deleted the head and then created two planes which would become chainsaws later on. Then I created this cool blade, which I then added an array modifier, and then I added curve modifier so that I can attach it onto the planes that we created before. Now the reason I use the curve modifier is because you can animate the Z or the Y axis so that it looks like the blades are spinning. Then I created this cool electricity effect that uses noise texture and a bunch of nodes. Wait. That looks awful. We need more realism. If you look at Tesla coils in real life, you'll notice that the arcs of electricity vary in speed and appear random. So to achieve that same effect, I'd have to add a delete geometry node in between instance on points and distribute points on faces. And then to the selection node, I'd have to add a noise texture and then a color ramp set to constant. The color ramp would be used to control how the electric arcs appear in the geometry. We also needed another noise texture for the speed of each lightning arc, and we were done. Now guys, there's a lot going on in phase 2. There's blood simulations, zombies are getting chef left, right and center. It's just absolute chaos going on. With that, I went outside again and recorded myself doing some slash animations and imported them to Blender. Then it hit me. If I were to create a slash animation, I'd have to cut the zombies in half. Then I came up with a genius idea of duplicating a zombie model, applying the armature, slicing it in half, and then teleporting it in an instant. Then I manually animated the top half to fall down after the slash happened. Then I gave the upper half a bloody material, and this is how it turned out. Nice. Looks great, right? Then I'd have to do the most important step. Blood spurting everywhere. I did it the classical way, a huge domain box and some spheres with fluids set to flow, and then the zombies are given an effector, along with Denji of course. I set the resolution to about 300 and let it bake, which took about 3 hours. I then gave it a cool material, then kept playing with the zombie animations until finally we had this. With both phase 1 and 2 locked in, I rendered everything out using open multi-layer EXR that included cryptomats and paths. Then I brought those EXR files into After Effects and composited everything shot by shot using flares, smokes, particle effects. Then I brought everything into DaVinci for the final cinematic polish. We are at the final stretch of this project. Looking back, I had to sacrifice my school, money, any validation from YouTube, and my social life, which was already non-existent. And this video right here was the only shot I had at making a difference in my channel, making you guys even happier with better content. Overall, it was fun and a very big learning experience for me. I've never spent this much time on a project so far. So after 121 days of sculpting, texturing, compositing, and color grading, I'm sure you want to subscribe because there's even more content coming up on the next videos. And so with that, please do enjoy the final video.
Minna. そいつバラバラにしてゴミ箱にでも捨てちゃって。出口は。傷が落ちた。じゃあ悪いことじゃねえ。
悪いことじゃねえけど、邪魔すんなら死ね